No, I'm not ready. No. Hello. Hello, my friends. Great to have you here. I'm John Zidar, and it is 4 o'clock. The bell has just rung, and we're ready to take a look at some hot stocks that you've brought in. What we do is look at stocks you share. I share stocks with you all week, one way or another. This gives you a chance to bring in stocks. And of course, I have got my group here, my gang, bringing me stocks as soon as I need them. Belmore was there in a hurry. My God, I just got that thing put up, and she already had a request out there, and I've got it. She's got ICCT, which is like one of the only stocks that was running consistently all day today. My scanners were all red, and there was this green one, ICCT, most of the day. Appreciate you bringing that in. Oh, who else we got here? Oh boy, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Looks like there we go, Jamie Mendez. Yeah, Jamie. Um, I did look at WTF. What the fudge? Not a ticker we easily get confused. It was just outside a penny range, I think, when I looked at it. So we're going to take a look at LXRX, a pharmaceutical company, but that's okay. They've got good things happening. Underdog, we got your VMAR. Who else? Mark Ryan. I wasn't sure if you were actually asking for TIVC or if you were just chatting about it. In either case, it looks like something we should look at. So I did do the due diligence on that. Dino, you were not late, my friend. I've got your TWOH. This is one I've been invested in for a couple years. And I've got somebody who keeps telling me to post news on it, post news on it. And I have posted news sometime recently, but haven't really looked at it until you asked me to. And I've got some news to share with you. Oh my God. So I see you guys were talking about IPOs. There have been a lot of IPOs coming out here recently. They're not even Chinese. They're just any old IPO. And I don't even know if they have low floats, but these bad boys have been running. We had NMAX the other day, and I covered some of these in a video the other day. NMAX came on at $14. At the end of the day, it was at 100. The next day, it hit 265 bucks and then went into a power slide downhill. Last time I looked, she was still at like $32. And then there was WTF. She was a brand new company that came on the market, took off, came back down. We have a lot of new IPOs doing that, folks. Not all of them. I've seen some do the same old, just fall from the get-go. So it is a duck shoot here. We really don't know why they're running. I don't know if it's manipulation or if it's something I'm missing. But in either case, take your gains. When you see a stock running strong, I don't care if it's been on the market a year or just came on today. If it's running silly, take gains. Don't hold it. You can always come back after the fall. You know it's going to fall. Nothing's holding those sort of gains. Everything comes back down to a median at least, which is 50% loss of that big run. Most of the time, it's coming down a heck of a lot further than that. All right, we are all set to go here, and I am going to try to do this as simple as I can. Looks like we're on target. Fantastic. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? Velmore. Velmore brought this in to me, as I said. Man, oh man, I put up the video request, and then I went and opened up the YouTube channel, and there was Velmore's request. It's like there couldn't have been 60 seconds pass by. I don't know how she does it so quick. We are going to look at ICCT. This is a company that deals with automating the insurance industry, all facets of it. They had strong daily volume today, super low float, steady revenues. There is a delisting threat over their head right now from the NASDAQ, and they're also late on their financials. So let's dive into iCore Connect's information. This is a company based out of the U.S., out of Florida. Finished today at $4.45. Look at that. Up 115% today. That was a jump of $2.38. This is a hot penny stock on the NASDAQ, which comes with benefits of those OTC penny stocks. There's no transaction fees. You get to buy and sell your shares for free here. There's a lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchange, which as traders we need. There's a lot more rules, which keeps these companies honest, keeps our investments safe. And what's the last one? Right. You get to trade pre-market aftermarket, which you never get to do with OTC. And if you're overlooking these periods, folks, even if you put in standing orders for sells, this is a period where halts do not occur for volatility. That stock starts to run, nobody's going to interrupt it. It's going to go as far as it can go. And I have seen some of the biggest runs ever happen in those periods of time. So ICCT, as I said, she deals with the insurance payment. Let me see if I can get this to move for us. They do all sorts of things. They have tried to automate the entire process of this. We've got some information down here. This is a list of all their different types of products. Well, you can see there's more than one there. They are in multiple states right now. They are getting their products out there, and they have gotten lots and lots of awards. They are being endorsed by a lot of different companies, which is where actually all of the news starts. Expansion and endorsements, expansion in education, expansion endorsements, expansion and endorsements. They're getting them from everybody. So it looks like they're on top of their game in this industry. And let me tell you, folks, in this country, maybe all over the world, insurance is huge business. So this could be a huge first mover. I have not seen anybody else doing this right now. The one thing I did not see in all the information I was reading was the word AI pop up anywhere. I didn't see it. I'm not saying they don't have it. I just didn't see it. And you would think if they had it, that would be something they'd be talking about. They have a hearing with the NASDAQ. I do believe I have this information up. On August 20th, they received a deficiency letter because they did not comply with the minimum stockholder equity. Stockholder equity has to be a minimum of $2.5 million. I think we're going to take a look. I think we're down near 3.5 million negative deficit. And the only way you do this is to make a deal. You've got to get assets. You've got to really bring something in. So I don't know if they're going to be able to fix this. The hearing, they may be able to buy themselves 3 months or 6 months to change something. That is being filed right now. It's still up in the air. So they have a threat to be delisted because we don't have enough stockholder equity. More of that news. There was another piece of news here. This is good news. iCourt Connect convertible debt holders cancel 142,000 common stock warrants. Okay, that's good. 142,000 of anything isn't no big deal. These are warrants that, if they got exercised down the road, would be converted into shares. So that would be added onto the float. Woohoo, 142,000. But you have somebody who had $800,000 that the company owed a debtor. That debtor, in lieu of cash, took shares. They're now an investor. So the company doesn't have to pay them. And they've got a new investor that just put that $800,000 into the company. So it's not a deficit anymore. It's now on the asset side. So that's good news as well. So that takes care of all of the information about what the company's going through. What was the relative volume around the company today? Look at that. What a jump. From about 22 million as an average every day over the last 30 days. Today, she's up at over 173 million. 5, 6, 7, 8. That's like 800% increase in her volume. Share structure for ICCT. Look at that, folks. 1.6 million shares. Now, I don't know if they just did a reverse stock split here recently, but that's how you get low floats like this. Everybody is getting them right now. So we've got 1.6 million outstanding. The insiders own something. I don't know what. Subtract that from the outstanding. That's going to give us our float. So whatever they own minus from 1.6 is our float. But whatever it is, it's not going to be more than 1.6 million. So we've got a super duper low float. 1.6 million. And how many shares did we move today? 173 million. I can't do the math there, folks, but that is selling every single share over. If we were to just say 2 million, you're looking at, what is that, 90, 85? 85 times. Every share had to sell at least 85 times over today. That is supply and demand. That looks like a short squeeze, and that gets the stock running and going parabolic. And when you see that, sell. Anytime something goes parabolic, sell. Sell in chunks, 100 shares, 100 shares, 100 shares. Just keep hitting each high bubble as she's going up, or use your supports and resistances. Let's see what we have for financials for the company. Well, over the last 2 years, they've been doing roughly $8 million. Profits are growing slightly from about 6 million to just over 6 million. Quarterlies, they're doing steady revenues between 2 and 3 million, steady profits between 1.5 and 2.5 million. Nothing wrong there. Looking at our balance sheet, not a lot of money in the bank, $212,000. We've got 3 zeros up here. We got to add to any of these numbers. Total assets, we got 14 million. Total liabilities is more than that, 17 million. So we are holding stockholder deficit, as they said, it's 3 million. Well, they got to get that up to 2.5 million, which means that's got to move 5.5 million from where it's at to get to the positive point. I don't know what they can do in a big hurry to make that happen, but that's what they got to do, or they could end up down on the OTC. And if that happens, folks, I guarantee you the price is going to fall. The price will fall right with them, guaranteed. Disclosures for the company. They are late on their 10K. That NT 10K, just think of that as saying not. We're not filing our annual report. Now, this gives them 15 days, just by filing this, it gives them 15 days to get that report in. So they filed it on the 31st, so they're going to need to have their financials out by the 14th, or they're going to be in more hot water. If this was a 10Q, it was a quarterly report and they filed an NT 10Q, it would buy them 5 days. A lot of times you'll see a company file these just before their financials are due, and for some reason it will run on this silly thing, not filing. So it goes up, 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 regardless of what the financials are. It's got nowhere to go but down. It's already climbed before the financials came out, so I hate seeing that. And then all these other 8Ks all go to the news. So we've got everything covered here. And this does have a warrant, it seems, ICCRW. Whenever these companies on the major exchange start to run, you need to take a look at the warrants, folks. Warrants can run hard and fast on less volume. A couple 100,000 shares is a lot of volume for a warrant. And you can pick them up for pennies, 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, and they'll double, triple. They'll 10 times over on a hot day. So you can make money. But again, take the gains when you see them. Don't stick around waiting for more. That's how people go broke. It's not taking gains. Nobody goes broke taking gains, leaving money on the table. You go broke hoping for more, not selling anything. So let's go take a look now at ICT. Ooh, I don't have anything set up over here. What a mess. I was playing the queue today, folks. Yesterday, I knew Trump was going to be talking about tariffs at 4 o'clock. So at 3:59:30, I had 30 seconds left. I came over here and bought myself a put for the next day. Cost me $60. I was so far out of the money. I was way up here. I bought it way the heck up there. Well, I woke up this morning and that bloody thing was way down here. 4 tiers into the money. My $60 put gave me $454 and I sold it at the bell. I didn't wait to see if it was going to give me any more. I was not being greedy. I was quite happy with that. And then at the end of the day, I played 2 more puts. Bought one for $150 and it fell, averaged it down, had an average of $100, sold them both for $200, made 100% on that. Cost me $200 for them both, sold it for $200. So puts were real good to me today. So a down market is a good thing to play if you can make money in it. You have to either short the stock, you either have to play options, or you have to play inverses. There's a lot of ETFs out there. When the SPY is falling, the inverse is climbing. So you can actually get into the stock as it's climbing. But I'm not real crazy about the inverses. They have never much excited me. All right, so let's take a look now at the chart for ticker ICCT. CCT. I can close you. Looks like we're getting some aftermarket activity here. Lots of lines. These are my supports and resistances. When we traded it over at Penny Boys, my job was to come over here and find these. I got to go back as far as I need to go to find historical price points where the price likes to change directions. And we use these as our entries. We get in over top of a support and we sell underneath the next one. And if it looks strong, looks like it's going to continue running, we'll sell 20% or something right there and carry the rest up. Sell some at the next one. Each one of these are a payday. We don't miss paydays. That's locking in gains. That's how you don't go broke. You never know when it's going to change gears and start to fall. And if you've been putting in your market, putting money in your pocket as you're going up the rungs, you're not going to get damaged when she drops out from underneath you all of a sudden. So let's jump back a year, see what our yearly chart is. We've been in a downtrend for a year with a high of $35. I'm presuming that high is legit. $35.80 back in April. Down, down, down. She went to a low of 24 cents, which we hit here just at the end of March. Off of that, she bounced quick, folks, instantaneously going straight to the 200-day MA. She is just over top of the 200 haul, which I'm always telling you is a great place for the price to be. In between the 200s is a 200 squeeze. And when the price gets over top of the 50, it gets power. There's an ignition that lights up between the two 200s over top of the 50. And wham, as long as your bottom 200 is turned up, your 200 haul, it ignites, folks. And this looks like it is still going. It is still in the midst of its run because normally they go to and through the 200. And then they have to rest because it took a lot of energy to bust through all of that. And it comes back down and bounces around a little bit. So this is looking good. All of our oscillators are going up right now. Every single one of them looks strong. Taking a look at our 6-month, 4-hour view. Same thing. We're on a downtrend here. We've already got a breakout that happened. And when did that breakout happen, folks? Purple is my 200 haul falling. Blue is my 200 haul rising. Right there, she is underneath the 50, the price. She gets up on top of the 50 with the blue haul. Boom, ignition, right? She took off. We were down here at 44 cents, and that ran all the way. Oh, my God. Is that right? That's right. From 44 cents to $5.44. That is like 1,200% run off of a low bubble. Now, first thing you need to notice, folks, is when you have a bounce off of a low bubble instantly, a 52-week low, that means the company has value. There's 52-week low bubble shoppers out there. As soon as they see one of those, to them, it's a flashing for sale sign. They can't help but go look at the fundamentals for the company. And if it's got value, boom, it takes off immediately. This took off. Now, I'm not quite sure where they see the value, but there is no doubt about it. That is a bounce off of that low bubble, and she ignited because of that 200, and she took her launch. She came back down through the 9-day, finally tagging the 20 with a wick, full bar here, and she's launching again. Look at how big those bars are. That is telling you how much heat, how much pressure is here. When the bars start to get big, you start to get push, you start to get run. This looks like another run is coming to me. All of our oscillators are going up on our 4-hour chart. Everything looks very strong. 1-hour chart, there's that big mighty run. She came down through the dynamic duo, the 200 haul and the 50 MA, which if you have them both on your chart, you'll see they hug each other when you have an uptrend. They hang on to each other, and that's normally where the price will bounce when it breaks through the 20. This came deep underneath both of them and then ricocheted here. Look at that 20. That's an angle. That's a decisive decision there. That wasn't a gradual change. This just abruptly changed, jumping from $2.16, oh my God, up to $6.27. You see what a low float will get you, folks? When it wants to move, all it needs is a little bit of volume, and this low float ignites. It's not a rocket going into space. It's a paper airplane. That's all it took. Wham, that thing is flying. And she's coming back down right now. Looks like she's coming underneath the 9. She could break it. I really can't tell. She may come down to the dynamic duo. the 200 haul or the 50 and bounce off of those. But she's got a lot of volatility. She's taking big jumps, coming down, finding a floor, jumping. Watch her. Watch her and look for that floor. Somewhere around here, she should start to level off. And then when she starts to go up, watch for them green bars to come in. It doesn't take many green bars for this one to move because she's got a low float. 5-day, 15-minute. Well, let's just look at today. We've just had all of our golden crosses. All of our MAs cross the 200. All of them are pushing up, but our 20 is starting to roll over right now. I always watch a stock. That means I don't do anything. I don't get in. I don't get out. I watch the stock when my 20 starts to look like it's rolling over because that's the steering wheel. The price follows the 20. Now, it can push the 20 around. Right now, it is starting to roll. It can push it back up. But if it rolls over, watch this thing start to come down. And if it does roll over, it's not going to just come down to the dynamic duo. It's going to come down further. It'll look for another floor and bounce from there. So I'm like an ICCT. I'm going to be putting this on my watch list for Penny Boys tomorrow. This has a low float. She has a lot of volatility. She's taking huge jumps. When she decides to move, she moves. So we just need to watch for the next move and get ready for it. Okie dokie. Let's jump back. I'm going to go straight into the next stock, folks. Okay, looking good. I'm going to close this one down. Can I close that down? No, it doesn't close down. That's okay. I know where I'm at. We are going to look at a pharmaceutical company, and I actually got to choose this. Normally, given a choice, I will bypass a pharmaceutical company because I don't like to read the news. I sound stupid. I can't pronounce it. And most of the time, I don't understand what it is I'm reading. So it's tough to explain to you. I look more stupid. So I try to avoid all of that. I did pretty good with this one. This came from Jamie Mendez. This is a pharmaceutical company working with genetics and DNA. The daily volume dropped hard today. And they just had a deal with Nordisk for $1 billion. Details to be discussed. Let's take a look at this. This is Lexicon Pharmaceuticals, ticker LXRX. This is an American company out of Texas, y'all. We got a price at the end of the day of 44 cents. She's up almost 12%. A penny stock on the major exchange. She's on the NASDAQ. Now, I couldn't get a, oh no. Oh, what did I just do? I did. I closed the window. That's okay. Wait a minute. Did it come back? It did not. I tell you what I'm going to do here, folks. There is news, but you really don't get it the best way over here at OTC. I go over to Stock Titan right here. LXRX. This is my backup. Whenever I have gaps in information, not for filings, just for news, I like to come over here. Not only do they give you news, but they give you a lot of information about the stock. Look over here. You've got market cap, float. Float. You don't get float over at the OTC. You get outstanding share count. They say the float is 357 million. Okay, we'll see if the OTC agrees with that. But what I like about this is it's run by AI. So the AI looks at all the information about the company and then puts out blurbs about each feature about the company. So you can do a lot of quick DD coming over here to Stock Titan and just putting in the ticker. And at the very top, they'll give you a breakdown of what the company's known for. Now, it's not perfect. I was reading Tilray's the other day, and they didn't mention beverages, breweries, beer. It's like, dude, that's half their business now, maybe more than half. You got to mention that. So it's not perfect, but it's a good place to be looking for information. So this is where I got our description for what's going on here. Lexicon Pharmaceuticals is a biopharmaceutical company that harnesses the power of genetics to discover and develop innovative medicines. The company employs its proprietary Genome 5000 platform, which utilizes gene knockout technology and advanced recombinant DNA chemistry techniques to identify and validate over 100 protein targets from nearly 5,000 genes. This cutting-edge approach enables Lexicon to pinpoint precise points of intervention for a broad range of human diseases. And that's as deep as we're getting here, folks. We're not getting any deeper. So I was looking at first, the news did not come up over there at the OTC. Then it came up and then it didn't. So we're just going to use this. I see there at a presentation, all these pharmaceutical companies are always doing presentations, letting people know what they're doing. But I stumbled across that deal that I was telling you about. Lexicon has entered into an exclusive worldwide license agreement with Novo Nordisk for the LX9851, a first-in-class oral non-incretin drug candidate targeting obesity and metabolic disorders. The deal includes potential payments of up to $1 billion. Now, they say it comes with a $75 million upfront payment. That's not what the filing says. Let me see if I can find that filing. Do I still got that? Oh, I lost that too? Bloody hell. Good thing I know where I'm going, huh? Is it this one? The deal. Please be this. Yes. Yay. So they tell us right here that they are getting a $45 million payment up front. I'm going to trust the filing over the AI. AI still make mistakes. Filings are legitimate information. If they're wrong, they will correct them. So we got a $45 million upfront payment and then two milestone payments, roughly $480 million each. One is for when they achieve specified regulatory and commercial launch milestones. And the second one is when they achieve specified sales milestones. And I have no idea how long these are going to take. But you're looking at a potential $900 million ready to come their way as they move forward with all of this. Let me see, what else did I have? Not much, right? I don't think there was actually anything else over here that I wanted to share. More presentations, fourth quarter reports. Yeah, we're going to get to all of that over here. So that is what is going on with the company. They've got a big deal. They just got themselves at least 45 million. I'm thinking that's what they just got. And they're working now with a new platform, trying to identify what they need to get that $900 million. So what was the relative volume around LXRX today? She was down more than 50%. She's doing roughly 24 million shares a day on average. Today, she did 9.3 million. Share structure for the company is at 361 million. Not a great one, but it's not bad. It's pretty average. I have no clue at the insider zone, so I can't give you any math and tell you what the float's going to be. Best I can tell you is it won't be over 361 million and could be considerably less depending on how many shares the insiders own. Market cap for the company is about 182 million. Financials, the key question, are they making any money? We got a pharmaceutical company making money. Look at this. They have, over the last 4 years, been increasing their revenues, and boy, did they turn on the steam in the last year, going from $298,000, right? We got those 3 zeros up there. 2023, they're at 1.2 million. Look at 2024. Boom. $31 million. And the profit is right there behind them. They hardly paid anything for what they're doing. I like that formula. Quarterly reports for this company. Wow. Oh, okay. That just goes up to the 24th. And it's like the last quarter. And that's concerning. You know, we see they're doing what is normal revenues here, a little over $1 million. Then all of a sudden you get this big jump in the last quarter of the year. Well, I've looked at a lot of these, right? I do a lot of these videos, and I've noticed that the last quarter of a year on lots of companies have this humongous jump that doesn't seem to carry over to the next quarters whatsoever. I don't know what it is, some balancing out of the year or something. I have no clue. So I don't know if we should get too bloody excited about that or not. It's nice to see, though. Balance sheet for the company. We got lots of money in the bank, 666. $66 million. We have $298 million in assets. About half of that, $152 million in liabilities. So we got lots of profit for the investors. Stockholder equity is up there at $146 million. We're doing good. From a day trader's point of view, this is looking really sweet. Disclosures. We got any filings over here? Did I say we had any filings? I didn't make any notes. Okay, we'll take a look. Well, we already looked at that one. You know what that one is. Back up, homeboy. Pre-14. I think this is about putting shares on the market. They've got all these different forms that they put out just before they decide to damage us with shares. No, I get this one confused. They're going to hold a stockholders meeting, They plan on doing that June 2nd, 2025, if you're interested. They could cancel it. It is empty right here. So this could just be a warm-up. I see a lot of these warm-up filings come out. So that covers it for LXRX. The big deal is they just made a deal. They got $45 million, and they have lots of money that they can grab if they do what they're supposed to do, and they do it quick. Let's see what we've got on the charts for them. Let's go back a year. Let's get an overall view. Look at all those lines. I'm going to get rid of these lines. If somebody wants to ring my phone to remind me before I leave here, I'll try to put them back. If not, c'est la vie. What is. So there's your chart without all the dried noodles across the board. We've got a 52-week high of $2.45 back in July of last year. She's been on a downtrend. Once she fell under the 200, she fell fast and hard, down to 28 cents, which she hit at the beginning of March. Boy, we hit a lot of lows in March, didn't we? She went sideways for quite a while, and right now she is on top of her 9, working her way up to the 50 with the 200 haul underneath and the 200 MA over top. But we've still got fall on both of them. As long as that 200 haul is falling, your price is pretty much falling too. The 200 haul is a friend to the price. The price will follow the 200 haul. It won't follow the 200 MA. That is a hindrance. All it wants to do is get away from it. Anytime it gets to it, it wants to run away from it one way or the other. The 200 haul, though, this is a friend to it. It'll bounce on it, lay on it, get smacked by it, and just take off. Let's jump on down to our 6-month view. Is that 6? No, I was going to say that's a big change. Yeah, that's more like it. $2.47 6 months ago in August. Downtrend once she hard broke the 200. She tried to get over the 200 here when it was totally flat. That's when you get your breakout. She had a nice run, came back down to it, tricked everybody with a fake break, came down deep, had another fake break, and then brought it all down hard. Man, she jumped here from 69 cents up to $1 and then crashed down to 27 cents. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I don't know what it is, though. She came up. Here's our financials. So this happened before the financials. People got scared. They didn't believe the financials were going to be good. People started coming back in, but they're just consolidating here. This is where people are buying and selling. All these red and green bars are people buying and selling at one price. When you see that happening for a long period of time, expect an abrupt change. Normally, something's going to happen after a long period of accumulation, consolidation. Something normally happens and boom. But when did this happen? Look at that chart. What's at the very bottom? Blue fire. We got our 200 haul that just turned blue. Look at the itty bitty tiny bars on the purple. Then look at the blue. Boom. To and through the 200. It ain't jive. It ain't BS, folks. This is a system that works. Nobody else talks about it. I'm the only guy that talks about a 200-day squeeze. And you get it anytime a stock falls and recovers. You get that cupping right here where the price gets stuck in between. And it wants to rise. It's tired of falling. So it is back down after an initial breakthrough onto the 50. We're still between the two 200s on the 50, bouncing, going towards it. I'm expecting another push to and through this 200. Our oscillators, they've been strong. Everything has had heat. It's not cooling off. It's just maintaining right now. Everything is going sideways, which we like to call ranging. Take a look at our 20-day 1-hour view. Forgot where I was at. Okay, we've got a trend change. Look at our 200 falling. It went flat here. She showed some interest. Came back down for a dip, a crouch before the pounce. Once that 200 was flat and climbing, when it started to climb, she took her solid rip there, folks. Maybe there was a catalyst that day. I don't know. But this is a serious jump, going from 35 cents up to 77 cents. It's over 100%. She came back down, hit that 9-day. What a solid landing. Came back up into a pennant. and then fell down, found our 20, and look at that 20. Another angle, a decisive decision to fall here. Boom. She came down from 59 cents all the way down to the 200 at 41 cents. And now she's just bouncing across the 200, waiting for an opportunity. Doesn't look like she wants to come under it. Everything is fighting right now. You got some MAs coming down, some MAs going up. We do have a 200 squeeze there, believe it or not. It's just an inverse, and it doesn't make a difference. As long as the only thing I got to say here is that your 200 haul has to be rising. This is a resistance. The price will hit its head on this and come back down. And normally you'll see this bounce between the two of these. And while that's happening, the 20 is rolling over. And that's when it'll start to fall. So we got to keep an eye on this right now. I'm not real happy about what that 200 haul is doing. Take a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. So there's our big rip. I'm going to grab my Fibonacci here. I always like to see where she's hanging out. If she's in the middle of this run, and you can find that by poking the top and the bottom of just the run. Now right there, I'm going to get rid of that second one, is our 50% mark right there. That's halfway. We expect the stock to have a healthy pullback and come back to the 50% mark. If it stays above it, there's a good strong likelihood it's going to continue to run. We did have a nice push here, but she was there too long. Things started to roll over, and she's following that rollover of the 200. As I said, she will follow that. She's come down to the 200 and underneath. So we need to get back up over that 50% fib. When you fall under it, the price will fall down to the next strongest MA, a strong MA, and try to hang on. It tried here, folks. It's trying and trying. Now it's falling down to the 200 haul. This is its support right now. And now everything is together. Right there, every single MA knotted up. I don't know where it's going to go. We just had a big dip, didn't we? Right here after hours, out of all of this mess, I'd be watching for a bounce. Looks like some volatility has come into the picture. Nobody knew what to read this as. That's just too tough to read. So you could get a nice bounce back up to 50 cents from 44 cents, just in this range area where she has been. We need to see her get up over that 55 cents to start pushing up again. And ultimately, we need to get over 55 cents. That's the ultimate breakout, over that 50% fib. Okay, we are done looking at LX, RX. What are you guys talking about over here? Anybody complaining that you can't see me, can't hear me? No? Let me get rid of that. How's my beard doing? Yeah, that's okay too. Okay, oh, look at all the conversation. Loving it. Glad to see you here, Bold. CXAI, we may get to it. Mark Mayhem, evening, sir. Evening to you too. Great to have you here. Oh, lots of new names in here. Maybe you've been here before. David, I'm glad to see you all here. And I'm glad to see you putting out some tickers out there. AREB. This is an American company dealing with a light beer. I don't think they have any other beer, but they're light beer and safes. But they also sell other things for gun hobbyists, for locking up your guns and stuff like that. This company has taken off. All I saw in the news was they were going to be on big TV channels, CBS and something like that, down in Florida. So the stock just started running hard. I own the warrant. The warrant went up about 300%. I unloaded a little bit, but I'm actually holding it because I bought it at 2 and 3 cents. I think it can hit 30 cents, 1,000% up. I've got other warrants I bought at 2 cents. You look at companies that are at $2 or $3 that ran to $7 and $10. Those warrants went from a nickel to $1. I'm talking huge runs. So I buy 1,000 shares for $20 and I just hold them and I wait for that company to get up to the $2 to $4 range and watch for the warrant to start to run. Okie doke, that's my 2 cents worth, right? Let's jump back in here. Let me get rid of this. I know I'm trying to keep my jots and tittles all taken care of. Next ticker we're going to take a look at here is VMAR, Vision Marine Technologies. This one came onto our radars today at Penny Boys. This came to us by the Underdog. This is a company dealing with electric boats. Their daily volume was way up today. They've got a super duper low float. That's because they just did a 1 in 10 reverse stock split March 31st. They've got steady revenues and they've got stockholder equity. And if I remember correctly, they just made a deal. So VMAR, Vision Marine Technologies, is a Canadian company. She finished today almost at $5.80, up just a little over 14%. This is a hot stock on the NASDAQ, hot penny stock, that is. They do tell us here that Vision Marine Technologies designs, develops, manufactures, sells, and rents electric boats in Canada, the United States, and internationally. It offers its patented e-motion electric powertrain technology. Picture's worth 1,000 words, ain't it? So they got boats. You expect boats. They've got all different kinds of boats. Slow-moving pontoon boats, speed boats, family boats, all kinds. This is the system that the motor hooks up to. This is what I'm talking about. There's your motor, right? Yeah, come on, fancy page. This is an electric motor. It can be charged up by just plugging in to any outlet wherever you're at, any charging unit. Don't have to pull the boat out of the water, obviously. And this motor attaches to all of that stuff you just seen, which is built into the boat. I don't quite understand what all this is, but this is their electric boat situation right there. What have I got for information? Well, we've got news. I've gone back here to February 21st when the company announced a stock repurchase program. They say they are going to be buying up at least 5% of the company's stock. I don't know how much that is. I'll let you figure it out. They didn't put a limit, a time limit on when they were going to do that. Didn't see that there, but that just started. Vision Marine Technology strengthens their e-motion line with new outboard PCU patent. That's one patent. Up here, they have another patent filed for adaptive water pump control, which is probably something we've seen underneath the boat there. This is the deal they made. Vision Marine Technology signs global exclusive supply agreement with Stirk for electric boats. Stirk makes their own electric boats, and this company is going to sell their boats. But they are going to incorporate their e-motion technology into the Stirk boats and start selling them abroad. So that's what's going on there. They say they don't have any problems with the trade tariffs. I guess there's no tariffs on boats yet. Not a big market, we're not going to worry too much about that. That's not to say there can't come, but so far so good for the company. And as I said, the company just had a reverse stock split. And they too are showcasing what they've got at these conventions. They're letting people know, not just investors, but also buyers, people who want to buy not just the stock, but the boats themselves. So what was the relative volume around VMAR today? Well, it is a jump. Look at how low that volume's been on the major exchange. 5,200 shares. That's one purchase. One purchase is a day. That's how this company's been getting. Today was a huge increase. I mean, percentage-wise, that's a huge increase, going from 5,000 to 937,000. I'm not going to do the math. It's huge, but it's not a big number yet. We're not even through 1 million shares, but we've got interest. That's the start. Everything starts small before it gets big. Taking a look at our share structure for the company, super duper low float. I don't know what it is, but we got 1 million outstanding. Can't be more than the outstanding share count. And the insiders got to own something. I mean, every now and then you see a company that has zero. Now, here's the problem. There is a minimum criteria on the major exchange that says you have to have a minimum of 1.5 million shares in your float. A lot of these companies are doing reverse stock splits and going below 1.5 million. I see them all the time. And the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange just made a mandate, a rule that says you cannot break a rule to get back into compliance. So if you're trying to raise the price the minimum bid price with the reverse stock split, but that reverse stock split puts you underneath the minimum float. You can't do the reverse stock split. You're going down to the OTC. There is one other way to do it. They could put a ton of shares on the market so that they've got enough. They could do a public offering, dilute the heck out of the shares, and then do a reverse stock split, and then do another public offering to put more shares on the market. It's a horrible cycle, folks, horrible. But at this point in time, we've got a super duper low float. We probably sold every share once today. At 942,000 shares, we probably sold them all once. But what happens when we do 10 million shares or 20 million shares? Then you've got short squeeze, supply and demand again. Market cap for this company, we're at 5.2 million. Financials for VMAR, are they making money? They are. It has been increasing over the last 4 years, taking a dip in 2023. Whereas 2024's, maybe they just came out. Maybe I missed that. So at the end of 2023, we were at 4.1. Let's see if our quarterlies show more. No, we don't get anything on the quarterly. How strange. And this only goes up to 2023. That really isn't helping us. Let me check out something over here. We got to go to disclosures anyway, so let's take a look. Their disclosures are going to be 6Ks, so it's going to be hard to determine which 6K is it. The best you can do is look for the date here. It's going to be a 30th, 3-month difference. That could be it right there. Consolidated financials. Yes. As of November 30th, 2024, that's getting a little closer. Our current assets were at 13.2 million. Our total liabilities were at 4.1 million, which gives us stockholder equity of 9 million. So we are holding positive stockholder equity in this company. Revenues. Do we got any zeros to throw onto these? I don't see any zero notice here. No, not much money. No, 2023, we were just under 1 million. Right now, I know you can't see that right now. We're at 142,000 at the end of November for that quarter. At least I'm hoping this is quarter and not annuals. And let's see here. Any other things we got down here? No, that's all we needed to actually see. So we do have stockholder equity, which is the important thing. They are making revenues, not very much though. I don't know why people aren't buying boats right now. Maybe they just got more important things on their mind. So I do believe we've looked at everything we have except the chart. Kind of interested to see the chart. I know I looked at it today. Can't remember. Oh no, wait a minute. Did I put my lines up? Leave it. Leave it. I'm confused. VMAR, more lines. Right, of course we got lines. We've always got lines. Hot stocks have lines. If it was a hot stock and there's no lines on it, I'm not doing my job. I'm looking at my own personal scanners. I got Momo scanners out there, momentum scanners. I've got my crew out there looking for hot stocks. People always bringing stocks in. So what do we got here? Uh-oh. No. Okay, we had a reverse stock split of 1 in 10. Is that the only one they had? So we've got one here. So everything on the board, they said they did that March 31st. So everything from March 31st back, we can't trust those numbers. The numbers have all been multiplied by 10. We do not have a big green bar here wherever March is. We don't have a big green bar showing that jump in price and then a fall when everybody sold their shares because they were angry that they lost their shares. No, what they do now is they multiply the entire chart by the ratio of the split. So we've got a high here back in May of last year of $1,039. Do you really think electric boats last year were selling that hot? I don't think so. And divided by 10 is what you'd have to do to get to the high. Well, that would still bring it down to $103. That doesn't sound right to me either. That sounds too high for an electric boat company. I may be wrong, but that sounds too high to me. So there's got to probably be another reverse stock split in there somewhere. I would have to do a deeper dive. So we have been in a downtrend, whatever the numbers are. And right now, gee whiz, you can't hardly see anything. I'll get rid of that. That's just my Fibonacci. That's an easy one to put up. Oh, I'm going to lose that one too. That's okay. All right, so what do we got? Jeez, oh, Pete's. We can't see much here. I'm just going to come down to the 4 hour where it makes a little more sense. Not much. Look at that crash, folks. Wow. So she has come down from wherever she was. Let's see what date this is. That's September. So we can't trust that. That says $675. Whatever the price is, the chart is right. We can count on the chart. She's under the 200 falling with some big jumps towards the 200, and then she just died completely. The 200 got close here. She should have made an attempt to break out. She is poking it, but I mean, days are going by. Here we had a fake breakout. She jumped from, looks to be about, are you kidding me? You can't trust these prices. It's saying it was $16 back then and jumped to 17 and a half. Bull pucky. Ain't buying that. So when did that reverse stock split happen? That happened right there. I'm going to put a blue line there so we can see that. My time bar. That would be right there. All right, so let's come on down to our 1 hour. Let's see if we can get some information finally. All right, so there is when the reverse stock split happened. You can't tell, can you? The price kicked up 10 times this day. So this price was down and this price jumped up. You'd never even know. So she was underneath the 200. It got flat here. We had an attempt to break out. We can't use the price. She came back down under the 200, fell to this low, bounced off of it pretty quick. I'm not going to say it was an immediate bounce. We had a half a day go by before she decided to start climbing. Got on top of the 9, had a reverse stock split. I guess it was a success because it continued climbing. She's rolling on that 9-day, falling down to the 20, and then 2 days ago, she ripped, going from a price we can trust, $4.68 up to $9.53. You're looking at a 100% run. And she came down fast, folks, super quick. This is why we take our gains on a rise, especially if you're just dealing with your 1 minute, 5 minute, you're missing these wicks, folks. You need to come over here. And if you see a big, long wick, you need to sell because it's going to come down to the solid bar and it's going to fall from that point. So you need to take those gains on those tall wicks. It's got to level itself back out. This came all the way back down to where it started. Gone sideways, another big rip. This is what you get with low floats, volatility. She's come back down, and right now she is starting to bounce again, folks. She has come off of that 200 haul right there, up on top of the 50. All we need is that 200 haul to turn up, turn blue. It's underneath the 200. This should get another rip, especially with the low float. 5-day, 15-minute. What do we got? It's going flat right now. Our 200-day MA is falling. Here it is trying to go flat. There is no doubt it is actually flat right there. She tugged it so hard, she made it flat. Came back down, came underneath it, and she pulled it back down. With this push, she actually tugged it back up. She is tugging this 200 around. And right now, it is actually totally flat with just a hint of rise. I think she is ready to start climbing, and I think she's going to do a rip. I think she's going to have another big jump, and you're going to need to take that because she's not holding these for long. This is a 15-minute chart, so we got 45 minutes there. So, look at these things, 30, 40, 60 minutes into it, you should be selling something. Something, 50%. Don't get greedy. Put some money in your pocket. You know you've got gains. Folks, if you get 100% gains, best thing you can do is like sell 75%. Get all your money back, 25% profit, and let the rest, your profit, your free shares, work for you without any sweat. You've already got profit in your pocket and you got your money back. So if you're going to gamble, gamble without risk. If you want to practice, if you want to see if you can find the ceiling, that's the time to do it. Get your money out first and deal with their money if you want to do all that silly stuff. It's not silly, but if you're risking it, anytime you're risking it, it's silly. Because right now, it belongs to you. It's yours. So I am liking this one. Vmar D Vmar should be on our watch list tomorrow. It's going to be on my Penny Boys watch list. What time is it? We are fast approaching 5 o'clock, and I need a drink. IBO 100824 109 VMAR. All right, you guys are talking VMAR 822. You found a second split. There we go. VMAR had a second split. Wow, that was a ways back. Oh, two of them. Wow. All right, so VMAR's had many a splits. 1 in 22, 1 in 24, 1 in 25. Jeez. That's a sad thing to see, folks. That means the stock's value has been falling. Do you see any gaps that need to be filled in the TWOHOTC chart? We're going to go look at that. Matter of fact, that may be the next one we're looking at. We'll go do that now. I want to get all my buttons. I'm making sure I'm hitting the right button. So if I look like I'm just staring nowhere, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing things right. Let's see here. No, we're not looking at TWOH next. We're looking at TIVC next. I do believe this came from my buddy Mark Ryan. Yeah, Mark Ryan brought us TIVC. They deal with medical devices. Primarily right now, they've got what they call the cleanup. It's a little teardrop medical device that helps you break down your nasal cavity. You got all that congestion in there. You use this thing, you roll it around your eyebrows and stuff. Let me show you what the heck I'm talking about here. That little doodad there. This helps your sinuses. You roll it around your eyebrow, around your nose, underneath your eye, and it breaks down the congestion. It puts out a pulse of a microcurrent. Now, I don't know if you can literally feel it or not, but they say it works. You use it 5 minutes a day, 4 times a day, or as often as you need it. There you go. So I've got some more information because there is more to talk about with this company. TIVC Health Systems. Let me see. I don't want to miss my notes here. Daily volume was up 10 times today. That's 1,000% increase in volume. Stupid, silly, low float. I do believe we're under 1 million shares because they did a 1 in 17 reverse stock split March 17th. That was the meet up at the minimum bid price requirement. And they have no filings to consider except that they just filed their financials and they're not looking too bad. We'll get some information about that as well. TIVC, Tivic Health Systems, this is an American company out of California, had a hot day finishing at $4.87 and up nearly 50% today. This is a hot penny stock on the NASDAQ, jumping $1.62. So I showed you what this company does. Let me see. That device that they have, it stimulates this area with this microcurrent, and this helps you to decongest and breathe. Well, there has been a lot of study with this vagus nerve stimulation. The vagus nerve is a dynamic nerve in the body that attaches to a lot of vital organs and important features in the body. If you can tap into that, then you have the ability to control, manipulate, help, ease pains, do a lot of things. But the problem is, I was reading an article about it, is that the vagus nerve is connected to your heart. It is connected to your lungs. And if you do something wrong, you could interrupt the signals to these organs and do harm. So it is a very important science that we're just now delving into. So looking at the news, Tivic Health files patent for their optimized electrical stimulation of the vagus nerve. They are pushing there. There's going to be a lot more money in that stimulator than this one for the nasal, I guarantee you. Tivic Health and Feinstein Institute present new data showing personalized vagus nerve stimulation method optimizes impact on automatic nervous system. Now, maybe this is for that one disease. What the heck do they call that? Fibromyalgia? Fibromyalgia. Your nervous system gets hyper alerted. I had it for a while, and everything hurts in turn. Your hair hurts, your eyelid hurts, your nails hurt, your knuckle hurts. It just hurts. There's nothing wrong with it. It just hurts because signals are saying it hurts, but there is no real pain. And maybe this can help that because there is no cure for that right now. Tivic Health to report 2024 year-end financial results, March 21st. So those just came out. We're going to tag on to that here. This is a letter that pretty much gives us an update on everything that's going on right there. And I've highlighted some of these bullets. We're not going to go through all of them. The company acquired Statera Biopharma worldwide exclusive license rights to the late-stage TLRS agnostic entelemod for the treatment of acute radiation syndrome, as well as the exclusive options to license 5 additional indications. These are things that can help fix for this device. And along with that, they got a whole bunch of patents. We're going to touch on to that here. They also expanded their intellectual property portfolio, bringing the total number of patents issued and pending to 27. However, that deal I was just mentioning, the Tivic exclusive license rights are under more than 60 patents from Statera. They did execute that reverse stock split of 1-17 on March 21st. They invested in and deployed a new website for their ClearUp. So they're now selling that device online. It's about time. They just secured access to a $25 million equity line of credit. They got a loan that they can tap into anytime they need. It's not free money. They'll have to pay it back. And they decreased their year-over-year net loss by 30%. That's a good thing. Speaking of numbers, here's some of the highlights from their financials. Revenue totaled $0.8 million compared to $1.2 million last year. So they did take a dip in their net revenues. However, everything else is looking pretty good. Cost of sales for the year ended with a decrease of 12%. Anytime you pay less for something, that's better. Gross profit for year ended was $2 million compared to about $250,000 the year before. Total operating expenses for the year was 5.7 compared to 8.5 last year, down about $3 million. Cash and cash equivalents totaled $2 million compared to $3.4 million last year. So they do have less capital on the books, but everything doesn't look bad. It looks pretty decent to me overall. So that's all the information for Tivic for the company. Let's take a look at the stock. Wow. Jiminy Pete's, how many zeros is that? 1, 2, 3. So that's 100 times, a little more. Going from 33,000 shares a day, she has jumped to 34 million shares today. Boom! That is 100 times her normal volume, which is, oh my God, is that 10,000% increase in her volume? That's a huge jump, folks. Got to pay attention to that. Share structure, stupid, silly, itty-bitty, low float, under $1 million. What did they do today, folks? Let's take another look. 34 million. If that was $750,000, they had to sell every share 25 times. 25 times every share had to run today. Had to sell. I was looking at that thinking how fast it runs. This is definitely a stock I'm going to be looking at tomorrow. When you have that much volume increase, when you have that few shares, it doesn't take much. It's like a little spark in a dry forest. You can end up with a huge forest fire very quick. It can get out of hand just like that. Taking a look at the, let me see, was there anything else over there? Oh, market cap, we do want to know what that is. That's about $2 million right now. Are they making any money? Yeah, it's getting less and less, and they're not getting to keep very much. They made $780,000 at the end of 2024 and got to keep $2,000. Bet somebody didn't get paid. Quarterlies, it's getting worse. Yeah, the money is falling, and the profit margin just went into the negative. Uh-oh, that's not nice. Take a look at our balance sheet. We still got money in the bank. We got $2 million there. $2.8 million company's assets. Oh, liabilities is way down, so we're not hurting. We got about $300,000 in liabilities. So we, the investors, even though revenues are falling, they're not making any profits anymore. we still have profits. They better quit tapping into ours. We got $2.5 million in the company right now. Disclosures. Do we have any disclosures? 8K. Did I mention these? These are material changes. You can normally look at the headline at the very top and see what's going on. Ooh. Unregistered sale of equity. I'm not quite sure what this is. I would have to look at this a little more. Yeah, that one's going to take a little more time. I'm not worried about it. There's their 10K. You want to do some due diligence on the company? Forget about their news presses. Forget about Google. No, not FinViz. Who said that? No, jump into the 10Ks. 10Ks are the absolute best. 10Q is the second best. There is a little more information in the 10K. This is every single thing they have ever done since they incorporated. Every deal, every reverse stock split, how much the insiders get paid, how many shares insiders, institutions own. It's all in there, folks. So whatever you want to know, learn how to read a 10K because they're all the same. Well, the internationals are a little different. Good luck with those. But the American companies are all the same. So once you learn where to look, you can look every time for every company and find exactly what you're looking for. All right, let's go take a look at TIVC, TIVIC. I can remember TIVIC. I don't have to copy that one. You wonder with my brain, don't you? TIVIC. TIVC. Oh, see? I did do it wrong. Is that TIVIC? TIVIC Health. It is. Hey, we got no lines here. What? Uh-oh. Somebody's not doing their job. All right, we're going to take this back to the year. We do have lines underneath. That was a long time ago. What are they doing there? Those are way too low. Let me get rid of all of those. We don't need those. Clear my lines. Yes, please. Okay, so we have got a high just before a drastic fall at $31.45 back in May. From that 31, she took an abrupt fall, but she jumped. To get to that 31, she jumped from 17 to 31 and then fell from 31 all the way down to 585. Wow. Oh my God. Some people really got burned here and they're still holding, waiting for a miracle, right? Came down. Once she got over top of these strong MAs, she got excited. Big bars. She's on top of the 50. She's pushing up, but that 200's a little bit too far away, so she's not going to quite make it yet. So she came back down to the 50, but that was a solid run, going from about 5.25 up to 1550. You're looking at 300% run. Yeah, that's a solid run. She came back down underneath the 50. We had another poke. This time we got all the way to the 200, and I like to see those pokes. She came back down, and actually the very next bar, I know it's tough for you to see, but the very next bar does not come down any lower than that first bar. That is a sign to me that this is looking for an opportunity to break out. We've got another push. Second bar is not coming down any lower than the big push. Right here, she starts to break out. She broke out. And there's no set up here, folks. We have a 200 squeeze setting up, but it kind of missed it right here. But it is there. And I say, when you see this setup, it can drop. The price can drop from wherever it is all the way down to the 200 haul, and she will get smacked like a Babe Ruth home run. Pow! It is out of here. And that's exactly what happened here, folks. Once she got up onto that 200, she got to that 50, she launched. Boom. Big bars. She launched all the way up from, these are real prices here, $4.34 up to $15.50. So we had a 300% run there. Right now, she looks like she is bouncing off of a low bubble immediately, breaking through the 20, which is starting to curve up. That's going to steer the price in an upwards direction. She is going through the 200 right now. Our oscillators, oh, there's my juicy one. Our ADX has a crossover happening right now. Our downtrend has been dominant. That's at the top of this graph. Whichever trend is on top is dominant. The green is working to go up now. It's about ready to trade places. And once that green crosses over, you can count on a strong push. This looks like it's ready to run with a lot of volume, a steady crossover, and all of our oscillators are churned up and starting to rise. I'm liking this. Take a look at our Oh, where are we at? 1 day? Yeah, so we're coming down to the 6 hour. Lots of sideways activity with those bounces in there. Huge rip right there, going from $4 basically to $22. Love these low floats, but you can see behind every single one of these strong runs is a very quick fall. Very quick. So take your gains, folks. Sell you. The best thing I can say is scale out. Study scaling out, folks. This is how we get our money. Sell 100 shares, 100 shares, 100 shares. If you got 1,000 shares, you can ride that puppy up for a while. But if you had gotten to NMAX, well, if you had bought it $28 and you'd bought yourself 100 shares, selling 10 shares at each high, you wouldn't have made it to $265. You'd have probably run out of shares at some point. But that's the way the game is played. But you know what? You're still going to come out banking, and that's what matters. So everything is climbing here on this chart. We've got ourselves a 200 squeeze happening right now, and our 200 haul is just now going flat. As soon as that turns up, I'm expecting a burst of power on this, and she should push hard through that 200. Everything is looking mighty juicy to me on these charts. The 1 hour chart. No, that's the 30-minute. I want the 1 hour. That's the 4 hour. Throw the dice here, John. See if you can do any better. All right. This is making pure sense now, right? Everything is falling. Price got up over top of the 200, laying on the 50, took a crouch before the pounce, went to and through the 200, really ripped, fell back down to that 9, which she's been riding on all the way up. She is still riding on the 9. All of our MAs are now crossing the 200, our golden cross. Our 200 is just now gone flat. Everything is perfect for a continuation of a breakout. Oscillators, PPOs pushing up. We still got lots of strength in the ADX with our green line, our dominant trend on top. Our MACD is a little cool right now, but fighting to stay strong. And our RSI is right there at 61. So everything is looking good. 5-day, 15-minute. We've got a trend change. Our 200 was flat for a few days here. And right now she is starting to curve up. Our price is pulled up off of the 200. Firm right there. Once she got up, she pushed off that 200 down to the 9, falling down to our dynamic duo, the 200 haul and the 50, and she's bouncing off of that, riding uphill right now. This looks like it's ready to run, folks. All of our oscillators are building up heat right now. Everything is starting that parabolic curve right now. I'm not saying it's going to go parabolic, but with this float, it very well could. So I would watch this. She likes to run earlier in the day rather than later in the day, but she likes to run when volume comes in. It doesn't take a lot of volume. As you can see, folks, whenever volume comes in, she pops. So watch the volume on this one. That's the ticket. Peek my head into my family here, see what you guys are doing. My eyeballs are acting weird. We got another stock I do want to look at. Thank you, Mark. Mark, this guy is keeping me alive. $3 super chat, super sticker. Sorry, folks. That's just something I put down there. You don't have to do it. It is just a way for you to actually pay me money. It's a tip jar. If I give you a good lead, you make a good amount of money. Maybe you just like listening to me talk. You like my voice. Maybe you want to request a song. Hey, drop a few bucks down there. Who knows what I'll do for money? Don't tempt me. Hey, there's somebody. MVST reported earnings last week and received price target of $5. That's what I want to see. I want to see you folks sharing information with each other. I may not get to it all, but you guys can get a lot more than I share just by looking at each other. All right, I want to talk about this stock, folks. We're going to go take a look now at TWOH. This company makes me mad. This came to me by way of Dino Trades. Thought he was late to the party. This company is a fresh food and grocery delivery company in Canada. Daily volume is up 4 times today with a very high outstanding share count. this all needs to be updated. All right. The reason I'm upset with this company, I own a lot of stocks that fell after February 2021. I owned a lot of stocks that I was playing, lots of them, and they fell hard. And a lot of these stocks are starting to come back slowly. I can't average them all down. I've got $44,000 in stocks that fell since 2021 from February. I got trapped in a lot of them. And some of them have come back. A lot of them have fallen off the market. A bunch have done reverse stock splits, which are just pathetic. And this was one of them. Well, when this company was looking good, I looked at its fundamentals. I judged it. I weighed it up. I made a decision and I averaged down on it. And 1 week later, they pulled a reverse stock split and really peed me off. And I've been holding this now for a couple years. Well, I've had a follower reaching out to me on a regular basis daily here, telling me, come on, post this news about TWOH. Post it. They're hot. They're hot. And because I got an attitude against them. And it's like, okay. So I posted some news and that's all I did. Well, somebody requested it today. Our Dino Trades did. And I did a deep dive and there's a lot going on, folks. You need to hear what's happening here. This is a Canadian company. TWOH, Two Hands Corporation, finished the day at a super low price, 0025. And they were up almost 50% today, 47%. This is a penny stock on the pinks, on the OTC. Very, very dangerous place to be investing. You want to trade pinks, get in, get out real fast, great, no problem. I play pump and dumps. They're one of the worst things that ever happened to an investor, unless you're a trader. Investors get burned because they hold too long. Traders make money because they take what's given. Well, all right. This company isn't doing anything you see here anymore. Everything has changed. When I was doing my deep dive, I discovered something that totally turned me off. They just added 3 billion shares to the float, and they already have way too many. Here's what we got, folks. This came out March 24th. Two Hands Corporation is pleased to announce that the shares of the common stock will resume trading on March 25th. They were halted, believe this, they were halted January 2nd. There was no trading done on this company until March 25th. Now, this was on the CSE. It may have been being traded here. I have seen stocks halted for months in Canada and still be trading over here and make no sense to me whatsoever. The reason this was done, though, was in connection with the announcement of the issuance of 3 billion shares to Emil Asensio in consideration for the conversion of a $300,000 convertible promissory note. To get out of debt, they gave him 3 billion shares, 300,000. And you know what that did? It gave the company to Emil. Emil is now the new person. In connection with the transaction, the company announced that its intentions to exit the legacy business and pursue new business opportunities. And to date, the company has no activity business in mind or definitive plans to enter a business. This constitutes a change of control. We got an extra 3 billion shares. We got a new guy who's taken over. He got the whole business, the whole company for $300,000, and he's not going to continue doing the grocery delivery, the fresh food delivery. If I remember correctly, this company came into existence during COVID. That's when they got hot, when ghost kitchens started popping up. You couldn't go to restaurants, so restaurants were popping up that could deliver, and all these ghost kitchens started popping up where they could create meals instantly and send them out. That's why I invested in them. You don't hear anything about ghost kitchens anymore. That just fell away. So it looks like things aren't too good here right now. I got any more information here? I did pull something up. No. Nope, that's everything. So let's go take a look at the relative volume for Two Hands today. Well, she was doing 60 million shares a day before this news. Now, 60 million shares down at these prices, it's not a whole lot. You can get a lot of shares for pretty cheap. Today, she did 272 million shares. So we are looking at 4 times her normal volume. Share structure for the company. We have 5.4 billion shares on the market, and they just added 3 billion. I've got to presume that's already been added in. So we were at 2 billion, and they just added 3 billion. So now we're at 5.5 billion shares. Folks, there's no value here. You know how thin the slice of pie is you're getting? You need a magnifying glass to determine if there's any fruit in it. This is ridiculous. That's way too many shares, and I hold this company, and I'm not investing anything in it. No, since that last time, it's just a dead horse taking up room in my portfolio. So I'm not liking anything that's happened to this company right now. It looks like it just got worse. Now, could things get better? They could. I mean, this guy might have some great idea. He might have his own business, but they just said right there in the news, they have no idea. They have no plans. They have no intentions of any new business. Well, what are you doing on the open market then? Get the heck out of here. That's a scam. If you're not going to do business, get out of here. The only reason you should be on the market is to do business. Pinks that are shell companies should have a time limit. If you can't come up with an acquisition or a merger in a certain amount of time, just like a SPAC, you should get your butt out of here and get off of our market. Don't be taking our money for 10 years, paying yourself, and never, ever closing a deal. All right, that's all I want to say about TWOH, but we will look at the chart. It's only fair to spit in both directions. It actually went up today, huh? Well, you know, folks, when I play charts, that's exactly what I'm playing. I don't know what the news is. I rarely look at the news when I am playing charts. Over at Penny Boys, every now and then we look, but most of the time we don't. All we're playing is technicals. If you've got a hot chart, who cares why it's running? It doesn't matter. News could be that the CEO just got caught drunk driving and killed somebody in his car. Doesn't matter. If the dang thing is running, we can take gains because it's being given. Some gains were being given here. You could see we were just looking. That's been flat for a very, and I mean flat, for a very long time. And then she decided to wake up in December. She started pushing, jumping here from the floor, 0001. She pushed herself up. Now, this is a daily chart, so that's one bar. She went from 0001 up to 0008. That's an 800% gain. Now, that's what most people are waiting for down here. That's why they buy so cheap. The problem is when you buy a stock into triple zeros, it's like a seedling. It takes a long time for it to get big and get fruit. So I don't like buying anything down here. I used to when I first started trading. I could see the potential, but I didn't realize how long they need to grow. So I don't go down there anymore. 001 is as low as I ever go anymore. Then we had a jump the next day. She made it up to we're at a penny and a half. She's kicking butt. She went from 0001 to a penny and a half. That's 1,500% gains in 2 days. Went sideways, finding that 9-day MA, bounced off of that at roughly 0008, jumping to 002. Oh yeah, that's giving yourself 250% gains right there. Wow. If you happen to get in back here and you held on up to here, you've got yourself 2,200% gains. Came back down to the 9. She's bounced off of that. We got a new high now. We're at 0025. She's still sitting on the 9. Looks like we've got a pattern here, folks. Looks like we've got an uptrend happening. Regardless of the news, if you're playing this chart, that's a hot chart. Let's take a look at our 6-month, 4-hour view. Not going to be a whole lot more to see. Flat, flat, flat. Look at this. Actually hit 0. You know you're a dead stock when you hit 0. It's not supposed to happen on the market. So we've got a nice run here floating on that 9-day. She took a deep dip here. But what I always look for is I look for that solid bar. If it's coming under the MA it's on, that's one thing. If it goes completely under it, then you're in a fall. But it's still there. It's still there. I know it's underneath it, but it's still on it. So I don't panic. She came back up and she continued to run. When you have just the wick come through, don't even worry about it. Nah. If the solid bar stays above 9 out of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10 chances, it's going to continue climbing. So don't let the wicks worry you. But again, look where we're at. 4-hour chart. Most of you, when you're trading, how often do you really look at the 4-hour chart? You don't, do you? Get in the habit. Every 4 hours at 12 noon, go look. See what the chart looks like. Every 4 hours, go see what the chart's looking like. Keep yourself in the loop. It never hurts to see if you're sitting on top of the 9 and say, oh, over here it looks bad. We're underneath everything. Yeah, but over here you're still on top. On the long chart, if you're patient, she should continue to climb. Taking a look at our 20-day 1-hour view. We've got a nice uptrend happening here. I can't deny that. And she's getting steady trading now. She's bouncing off of her 50 all the way up, taking gains and dropping, taking gains and dropping. So should you. Right now, she's up on a high. I would expect her to come back down and hit that 50 and bounce again. So wait for her to come back down. You might want to watch for this wick. Watch for the wick right here that comes under. When that wick comes back up, this is a sign that she is starting to climb again. You may get a test, but she is definitely climbing, and she's getting stronger, folks. Our 200's climbing, just came on the board. Every EMA is pushing up. Our oscillators, our PPO is pushing up. Our ADX is pushing up. Our all these initials. My MACD is pushing up, and my RSI. Every single line is going up. Volume is a little weak right now, but everything else looks very hot. It deserves to be on the watch list no matter what I think about TWOH. I'm not going to be able to sell anything, but it's at least worth a watch for anybody else. Although I got to say, over at Penny Boys, I don't see a lot of people ever playing these sub-penny stocks. We do get players in the stocks at 50 cents, 80 cents, but normally not sub-penny stocks. I will trade them if people want to trade them, but we just haven't had any interest yet. Maybe they're trading them in secret. Come on out. Let me know what you're doing. Don't be ashamed to trade sub-penny stocks. I traded them for years. So our 15-minute chart shows we've got a nice uptrend going. We're not going to get any aftermarket activity because it's an OTC stock. If you do, see right here, if you do see activity, pre-market, aftermarket, it ain't me and you. It's marketers. It's brokers. Marketers are people who are supposed to stimulate the market when it's not moving. And brokers, well, you know who your brokers are. Well, they can trade stocks too. And they like to pull stocks down and then let us push them up. And they also, down at the 000 range, get a half a point. We have to bid at 0004, 0005. They can bid at 0045. So when it's at 0004, they own at 0005. I gotta buy it at 0005. They automatically make a little bit of profit. But when you buy 1 million shares or 10 million shares, so bloody cheap, you can get 1 million shares for $100 at 0001. So when it moves up just a little, you've made some money. Absolutely. So TWOH, hot chart, terrible news. Has potential, but it's all speculation. And that's the one thing that can be said about OTC traders. People that like to trade sub-penny stocks, they speculate a lot. They look into the future and see the best. They don't have any details. They don't have any facts, but boy, do they have a future built out for this company. And they will lay it out to you. And they'll kick the price up, believing their own visions. So speculation definitely comes into play here. But what also comes into play is common sense. When a stock gets to a certain point, when it reaches a certain point, it's going to fall. Never, ever ask the question, how high do you think this is going to go? That's just too dangerous, folks. Every answer is putting you in a place of risk. All you should be doing is getting out at highs, getting out at targets, taking gains. That's what you should be doing. As traders, not investors, we're looking to find stocks moving, take those gains while they're given. After that, find another one. Don't marry the stock. We're single. We're dating. We can get in and out, excuse the expression, with these stocks as often as we like. Appreciate your time, folks. My voice is gone. My time is gone. Hey, it's 5:30. We're right on the money. I'm sorry I didn't get to any more of your stocks. That just kind of happens, blah, blah, blah. I talk more than just stocks, though. So hopefully you're getting more from me than just stock information. Hopefully I'm sharing information that helps you in other areas that I'm just not aware of. I like doing it. With that said, I am out of here, folks. I need to get high. It's legal in my state. I've not had nicotine. I've not had THC. I've not had caffeine. I'm struggling right now. Oh my God, I'm struggling right now. I need to do something. Okay, we're going to go do it. I look like gum, don't I? My precious, my precious. I'm losing my mind. All right, folks. I will see you next week. Same time, same channel, same beard, same crazy attitude. I'm John Zidar, the Wizzy. See you, folks. Who said Home Alone?